do not know who I am Julie Samako. We're going to be crafting in my wreath shop. We'll be crafting a Deco Mesh summer wreath, okay? Let's talk about the supplies that we're going to be using for this wreath. This is a 24-inch work wreath form. So if you're new to Deco Mesh wreaths, which, by the way, are hugely popular, so popular, they make it very easy to make with these work wreath forms right here. They've got all of these twist ties already added. All you have to do is open them up. I tell people all the time, if you can tie a bread twist tie, right, on your loaf of bread, you pretty much can make a Deco Mesh wreath. Because all you're going to do is twist it in, twist it in. So I'm just going to prep this real quick. So this is a 24-inch work wreath form, and the color of, this is a burlap color, which is neutral, and it will look good for everything. So we've got our 24-inch work wreath form. We also have some greenery. I love this greenery. It's very airy. So we're going to incorporate this into the wreath. It's got a lot of different texture on it and just a really pretty green. And then we've got these really pretty, what are they calling these? Petunia bushes. It's a petunia bush in the bright yellow. So this is going to be very vibrant on your wreath. It's going to be so pretty up against this neutral mesh. And then let's see, what else do we have? We're going to be using our sign. So this is the inspiration for our project today. How cute is that? Our 21-inch burlap mesh. So you guys, Carolina Pottery has all of these different colors of the mesh. They've got 10-inch, and then they've got the 21-inch, and I'm loving the burlap on burlap look, and then a pop of yellow and black. I just love that. I think it's going to be super fun. So we're going to put this on there, and we have these are 2.5-inch ribbons. We've got two different textures and colors. So we've got the burlap, which will look really pretty with our burlap theme, and then we've got our bumblebee, which is going to look amazing on with our polka dot sign. And then we've got this vibrant yellow right here, so that matches with our bumblebee. Just trying to show you my coloring and how I choose my supplies when I go shopping at Carolina Pottery. I'm going to turn it over. You guys, this side is only $3.99. That is a deal. A deal and a steal, for sure. There's nothing like crafting, you guys, is there? So relaxing. So the first thing I want to do is fold up some ribbon. I'm just going to fold up a little piece just like this. I don't know, it's like 2 inches. And the reason I'm going to do this is just to build up my sign a little bit more so that my staple doesn't go through the front. Because it's a, what is that, probably not even maybe a 1/4 inch thick. And I just don't want my staple to go through it. So I'm building up just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and staple my pipe cleaner right there. And it's going to be loud. Told you it's loud. So now it doesn't go through the front. So I'm just taking the time to build it up just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little hot glue on the front, on the back. I'm just going to put a little hot glue right here. If you, I'm using my glue pan just because I make a lot of wreaths and it's just quicker for me to use a glue pan. But you can absolutely use your glue gun just to put a little hot glue right there to help hold those staples in. Not necessary, but I like to be cautious. Mesh holds up really well outside in the weather. All of the materials that I'm using are weatherproof, so you can make this for your outdoor wreath. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go slow. So for those of you who have not made a wreath before, you can see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is opening up the twist ties on our work wreath form. And then we're going to twist. And then if you're going to measure, if you have a ruler at home, you could use a ruler. I use my mat sometimes and measure out approximately 10 inches. And then we're going to just put it on the next set of twist ties. So you see I'm just working it around. The other thing you could do is just, if you want to measure, instead of using a ruler or your mat, you can measure by skipping one set of twist ties and just going to the very next set. And that way you'll pretty much know that all of your loops are going to be about the same. So this is what we call the poof method for Deco Mesh wreath making. And once I put the loop, once I've secured into the twist tie, all I'm going to do is just take my hands and just poof it out a little bit. Hence the word poof wreath. So let me show you. I've gone all the way around the inner ring. So these were the inner twist ties. I've gone all the way around. Now I want to do the outer ring, the outer set of twist ties. To do that, I'm just going to take my, instead of making another loop, I'm just going to make myself a little bridge by taking this and then securing it to the bottom set of twist ties and securing. And now I'm going to continue on around the wreath the same length, 10 inches. Working around the bottom portion of our Deco Mesh wreath, measuring, attaching, and poofing. Once you learn to master this, your neighbors are going to be wanting you to make one for them. All your church friends. There's times when, listen, when I started making wreaths, there were times when I didn't like what I made, but then everybody else loved it. So sometimes I think we're our own worst critic. Don't be afraid to just get started. It's really all about the journey, isn't it? The fun of it. Not necessarily the outcome. All right, so here we are. We're where we started on our outer ring, and all I'm going to do is untwist that. Remember, it was holding down the little bridge, and I'm going to put in our last loop. So we've gone all the way around the inner ring of the wreath frame, and we've gone all the way around the outer ring of the wreath frame. So let me just give you a little quick under the skirt look of the wreath, meaning behind it. You can see that it's slightly elevated. So the inner ring is higher than the outer ring. So what that's going to do is it's going to make a thicker wreath for you. It's going to make your wreath be a little more, have that dimension on your door. So I love working with these work wreath forms. All right, so now I'm going to flip it back over, and I am going to start working on the middle ring, which you're like, wait a minute, I didn't see any middle ring twist ties. That's right, there's not any middle ring twist ties, but we're going to go ahead and do is add one more layer just to give it a little bit more thickness and density right here. I mean, you have all this mesh, you might as well use it up, right? All right, so all we're going to do is just the same thing. I'm going to do the outer ring, and I'll turn it around to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do the outer ring, and when I do, I untwist right here. So I've got the twist ties holding in our loop that we've already done, and I'm just going to untwist, make a little loop, and then lay it on there. It's a little hard to do from this angle. So we're going to lay it on there and then twist it back. So that's what I mean. I'm just going around the outer loop again, adding one more loop. So Brenda says sometimes she's making and she doesn't like it, so she has to hang it up and step back. Yes, I do that too. When I'm making something, especially if I have a white door that I call the white door check. I just put it on that white door, stand back and look at it. If you don't have a white door, you could just hang it anywhere, and then sometimes I just take a photo of it on my phone, and then when I look at it on my phone, I can say, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. There's a hole right there. All right, so now I've gone all the way around, and now what I'm going to do is just pull this about 3 inches from the wreath. Let's say 5, not 3. And then we're going to trim it off the roll. And this little tail that we've cut from our mesh, I'm just going to tuck it in here, out of the way. There we go. So right here is the base of your wreath. All right, we've got our ribbon, and I've cut it in 14-inch strips right here. So the only thing I've done is I lay it out, measure 14 inches and cut, and then fold it in half, right? And then I fold it in half again. And then I cut on an angle where the folded line, the folded fabric is. So I've just cut on an angle like that. And what that does is it puts a pretty finished dovetail edge to the ribbon. So I've done that for all of the ribbon. I've cut 9 strips, 2.5-inch ribbon, 1.5-inch ribbon. All right, so we've got 9 of these cut 14 inches long. So I'm gonna pair these up. And when I pair these up, I'm going to try to mix the color up a little bit. So I'm going to add the black on top of this yellow versus adding the yellow on top of the yellow. Then you're just going to have pops of yellow. So I liked mixing up the colors just a little bit so that it has a variation. And you'll see when I add it to the wreath that it just is going to disperse the color all throughout the wreath. All right, so what I'm going to do is just add these to the wreath. Once I add them to the wreath, just like this, I'm going to separate the pieces by forming an X. So now I'm going to skip and switch up. And make an X. What are some fun themed wreaths that you've seen this year? Besides the bumblebees. This is my wreath shop, you guys. This is actually the garage of my home. It is nothing fancy. And you probably can hear the fans in the background running because it's a little warm. All right, moving around. Isn't this cute? I mean, if you did nothing else, this would be a cute wreath for your front door. Can you imagine how cute that would look on your door? You can see it's got the depth to it. Here is what it looks like on the back. So, so fun. Now what I want to do is add in our sign. I usually just find the center and then twist. So let's say I'm going to twist it around this set of needle ties. I'm going to reach under and make sure I capture that frame. And I'm not going around the whole frame, just the inner circle, just the inner part. So here is the back. So you can see where we've attached it right here to the wreath frame, right here to the wreath frame. So it's the inner frame. Isn't this cute? So you can use this right here for your door. So you could stop right here if that's all you want to do. Another layer done, right? So you can see the theme here. We're just layering elements on top of elements to get a cute, cute design. So we've got all of these really pretty florals. And I'm going to trim these off the bush. I don't think I'm going to use this green, the leaves. I think I'm going to just push those down and not use those. All right, so I'm going to measure off about 3 inches, 4 inches. We've got these trimmed off, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the, they're just calling it a fern bush. So this is plastic, which I love plastic. Now back in the day when they used to make plastic, it's not the same as what they make plastic now. It's it looks real, very authentic. And this is going to be just a little long, I believe, for my wreath. Well, it depends on the look you're looking for. So I think I'm going to go ahead and trim some of it. So this is really nice that you can divide it. So I love when I find greenery that's easily dividable. And I just like to bend just a little bit to give it a realistic look. And you can't mess up, really, you cannot mess up. This is your creation, it's your work of art. Just have fun. Try new things. All right, so here we have our flowers and we have our greens divided. I'm just gonna put, you don't have to have a wreath hanger, but because our poofs are so thick, sometimes the door hanger can't find the frame because the poofs are so thick. So all I'm gonna do is just add a quick little wreath hanger back here. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my flowers. I'm just going to, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no right way or wrong way to add them. Just do whatever feels fun to you. I typically start on one side and then I'll go and add on the other opposite side. That way I know that I'm sort of balancing out the color and I'm evenly dispersing my flowers. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just start here. And to do that, I am going to take the twist tie that I have on the wreath. I'm going to make just a little circle. So there's a hole that I made with the twist tie, and that is where the flower is going to go in. So you might not be able to see it, but it's going into that little hole that I just created. So that hole is going to catch all of the glue. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick it right in there. So that's where we've got our first flower added. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite side. See how we're starting to disperse it around? Again, you don't have to add the flowers if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. I've made Deco mesh wreaths with ornaments, with flowers. So whatever you want to add to your wreath is completely up to you. So we've got one more. So we have added all of the yellow. All right, now what I do is, remember we had all of this fun greenery that was added to that flower bush. So I'm just going to go through and add that the same way. The beauty of adding it onto our twist ties also is that you can use the twist tie to essentially wire it in. So when I put it through the little loop, excuse me, I'm putting it to make sure that it goes behind the loop, in between the loops, and then you could just twist it a little bit tighter and it helps to wire it in. Okay, so we've got our yellow bush added. So you could stop right here. But no, I want to add greenery. We're going to add the greenery the same way. Just going to back and forth all over the wreath. You're going to see when you add this greenery, it's going to add a lot of texture. So I added, if you add everything in this wreath that I just did, it adds up to a little over $40. And if you were going to buy this already made online, it would be well more than that. So I'm all fan of making my own, and that's how I even got started myself, is just making it myself. So if you're crafty, this is an easy wreath for you to master. And you can make one for all the different seasons. If you want to, you can always go back and trim some of your ribbon pieces if you want them to not be in front of your sign. I kind of like seeing my sign, so I don't want them to be too long in front of my sign. How cute is that? Isn't that adorable? You guys, this would look so cute on your door. Hope you had a fun time. I did. You guys, thank you so much. Again, check out carolinapottery.com. If you have any questions, just comment below. Bye.